This video is about alignment on Ford and Mercury shock tower cars. When I put this car together, I had a ½ degree negative camber on the driver's side, 0.7 on the passenger side. And after, I don't know, 1,000 miles of driving, let's say, I ended up with a 1 1/4 negative camber on the left and a 1 1/2 on the right. I went to various forums and I did a Google search, and I asked the question about camber caster shims. How much camber does an 1/8" shim give you, for instance, if you were to put 1/8" shim on both the front and the back bolts? I got all kinds of different answers and a bunch of comments that were totally irrelevant. I went to my comment forum, and there's a bunch of great guys on there, and of course a couple of them pulled out the factory manual. Don't know why I didn't think of that, because I have a factory manual. And the manual states that a 32nd of an inch on either bolt will change your caster a ½ degree. And on camber, a 1/16 of an inch shim on both bolts will give you 1/3 of a degree of camber. I needed to add a full degree on the left and a 1 1/4 on the right. So I pulled the shims off that were on it. I measured those and came up with the figures. I wanted to use all new shims because these shims have the, I don't know what you call it, but anyway, they've got the hole on the top, so I could put them all together with a zip tie and drop them down in when I was ready. So I needed a full degree on the left side. I put a 1/8 and a 1/16 of an inch shim in. That gave me 0.1875. The shims that were on it were 0.200, so I needed a total of 0.3875. I did the math. I put the stack of shims together, and sure as the world, an 1/8", which is 2/3 of a degree, and a 1/16 of an inch, which is 1/3 of a degree, gave me 1 degree. And when I put the car together and rolled it back and forth, I ended up with a 1/4 of a degree negative camber, which is quite acceptable. I've done the same to the other side. I have not checked it yet, but I wanted to get this information out there. The funny thing is, most of it's in the manual. But the question I had about this was, what about those of us that have done the Shelby drop? You know, you're changing the geometry a little bit of the upper control arm. Well, for whatever that's worth, it made no difference on my alignment. And that was on the left side, okay? An 1/8 of an inch and a 1/16 of an inch gave me 1 degree, which is what I needed. I finished the other side this afternoon. It's love bug season down here. I'm not going to roll it out, but tomorrow, before the love bugs wake up, I will drive it around the block. I will take measurements again. I'm certain that that is going to change the toe in, and I'll make adjustments for that. Anyhow, I thought this might be helpful for some of you Ford Mercury guys. I'll see you next time down the road.